Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Christelle Martinette with a celebratory video and reading for the Equinox that starts the 22nd of September and will last 3 months, approximately 3 months. So what I've decided to do is to take you in my working environment, and I'll show you, and as I explain what I'm going to do, I'll show you some of my props. Okay, this is my beautiful panel. It's like as if I have a tree in my room, in my working room. And what I'll be doing, you've got a glimpse of that. This is solar plexus chakra incense burning. You'll see that I have laid a grand tableau, a Leonormand grand tableau. Now I'm standing, there will be 2 parts to this video. One part is me going around with the camera, I'll be the director, film director. Then I'll change and take on the guise of a card reader, because I'm going to highlight certain areas of this spread with the Casanova Tarot. I'll tell you why, because yesterday and the day before I was planning the Sex, Love and Rock and Roll videos with the Casanova Tarot, and unfortunately my lighting wasn't that good, and a lot of people wrote to me, oh, I wish I could have seen those cards. So I'm going to be using them more and more. I enjoy the energy that I get from them, and it's not only eroticism and sex in those tarot decks, in that tarot deck. Now bear with me, this will be a fairly long video, and I had to unfortunately do the mixing and put the cards out because it's such an elaborate spread. Now, if you want to get an idea of what this spread is all about, I have a video out that I did in last December called Taking a Look at the Year 2015, where I spread it out differently. There are 36 cards in this deck. Here I have 6 rows of 6 cards. In that video, to make it possible to read into 4 different seasons, 4 different phases of the year, I spread it out into 4 rows of 9 cards, 36. So here I'm going to be reading. It's very difficult to separate the cards, of course. It's one whole reading. But I'm going to be reading these 2 rows, and they are all numbered cards. They each have a house. And mixing them, setting them out, all of the cards are in different houses now. So the first 2 rows will be applying mainly to the activity in the first month. The second 2 in the activity of the second month, well, the first month, second month. And this is the 3rd month. However, since they occupy different houses, I will be referring each time in turn to the different places. But there is a focus in each month. Let's start. And let me tell you right now that there is a sort of grammar that these cards have. You know, there are protagonists, there are nouns, and there are verbs, things that are done, and objects, where they go, what they, what props they use, and things like that. So this is how I'm going to use the reading in terms of finding out what exactly is going on and who the people are in these in this spread. Now, right away you can see that in the first month there is a man there, and of course there are adjectives, that describe what is going on, and there is also movement. There's the ship there. So let's start with the protagonist, since in at least the English language, we always start with we nominalize, we say, okay, who did what? So we have the man. The man is in the position of the tree. Now, if I look where the tree is, the tree has to do with both health and timing. Now, the tree falls in the last month, and it is in the position of the fish. Now, this tells me that in the first month, this person who you have known for a long time, right? This man that you have known for a long time is pondering something to do with entrepreneurship, business, self-employment. All right, the self-employment. And the fish is in the house of the crossroads. It's a decision to be made. That person has to make a decision concerning work. Now, instead of going too far back and tracing the numbers, I'm going to stop it at that crossroads. We'll see the crossroads, the decision-making, as we go into the various months. So we have the man making decisions, a man that I said you have known for a long time. For those of you who do not know this person, this could be a person that is linked to you in a past life, in any case. Now, concerning the first month, I'm going to go to the next important card that will give us information, and this is the key. All right, the key is in a. It talks about the information, the basic focus of the reading, and the basic focus of that month. The key is in the position of birds. The birds is negative energy. And negative energy, which negative but nervous, let's say nervous energy. To clarify, we can find that the birds is in the position of the woman. So this means that there is nervous energy involved in the decision that the man is thinking about and has to make. And it involves a woman. Now we'll see the woman afterwards in a couple of months. But let's say that for the time being, the woman is involved with that man in his thoughts because she's here and she's in the position of the ring. There's two options here. There could be a possible contract coming up between them, and there could be, from the man I'm saying, to the woman, because it's an offer, he's the first protagonist, and it also could be a bond, an emotional bond between them. And in, since this is a general reading, there could be some of you who have one and some of you who have the other, or that these two options are joined in one relationship. Okay, what else do we have here? We have here, let's start with the rider position, which is generally the news coming in, and we have the cards of the lilies, the card of the lilies, which is a mature, it's something that denotes maturity. So in that position, it's telling us that news is coming that has been long awaited, and the time is ripe in that month from the 22nd of September to the 22nd roughly of October. The time is ripe. Now, if we go down and around and we check where the rider is, we find the rider in the position of the cross, and the cross is a fated position. This is a karmic connection. This is fate, something that is destined to be. So, let's go back and see. We see that our cross is in the second month, so there will be more of that emerging in the second month, undoubtedly. Next to the man, there is the anchor, and the anchor also denotes work and labor. Just a moment, my incense has burned out. Let's see if I can get that going. All right. So the anchor denotes both stability and labor and work and activity. And it is in the house of the clouds. Now the clouds tells us that there are problems, there's issues that need to be resolved, but they will be resolved because clouds just pass by in the sky. So there is something there that needs to be resolved. And in the same first month, the clouds are here and they're in the position of the snake. Now, here again, there is a two-pronged meaning here because the snake means both another woman. It could mean another woman. It also could mean a complete, because the snakes shed their skin, a complete change and the beginning of something new. Let's see where the snake is to get more information. This is The Six of the Clouds is a candidate for our Casanova deck to clarify. But the snake is in the same month, so we can find that out right away. The second position, that is in the clover position. And you see the clovers right next to it. This is telling us, on the one hand, it's a very fortunate card. It's a fortunate beginning. And so there may be another woman involved or problems with a woman, but we'll find that out. But in this case here, we're seeing that it's a very fortunate new beginning. And the new beginning, the clover, is in the position of our verb, our movement, of our ship. This is telling us that there's a new beginning involving travel. There's a new beginning involving travel and work. Now, our ship is in the position of the scythe, and the scythe is here. It denotes immediate change. Either that your trip will be stopped before you even take it, or that it will start, the information about your move and your travel toward a new working position perhaps will take place shortly. Right? So there are two meanings there, and depending on your situation, since it's general reading, you can take that into account. However, the scythe position that we're seeing in the second month here is in the position of the stars, and the stars in this deck speak to us of also clarity and information. So this is something that comes about within this period of time. Definitely there's something happening within this equinox to 3 months forward concerning a woman, a person, a man who's offering a position, and a woman who has to consider the position. Now, the stars are in the position of the dog. Now, this means to us that it is either offered from a friend, it could be, but also someone, we're going back to the man because it's a person that you have known for a long time. All right, you have known for a long time. Now let's get back to our first, we get back to our first month because we have the dog there that was suggested by the stars. And the dog is in the position of the coffin. The coffin is, again, either a beginning or an end, and it is the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. The coffin here is in the position of the bear. The bear for us means stability. And where is our stability? Our stability is right next to the man. And the stability is in the house of the house. So there's also a residence involved here. There's also a change of residence. The residence we find in the third month, as if it will be in the third month that you decide to change residence. The house is in the letter of the house is in the position of the letter. That means communication, getting information about that move. And very, very appropriately, this card, which is coming out in the second month, is in the position of the stork. It is a return. Therefore, this is you going back to a place where you have been already, you have seen already. It is a return. This is what storks do. Now, take this man and woman character role as a very adaptable, all right? Because we know that there's, not black and white. There are like sex relationships, and so you can adapt this to your needs. But definitely the storyline here I can really count on because of the way the layout is coming, is developing, and the way the cards are talking to each other. Now, we mentioned the stork and returning to a place. The stork is in the position of the lilies, and the lilies is maturity, and it's telling me that you are about, in the third month, to go back. making the decision to go back to this place, it has been a decision that you have matured. And it is negotiated with someone because it is the information that you received. The lilies is in the position of the rider coming in with news. So between the first month and the second month, you'll be getting an offer. There may be more than one because there is, we will see, the whip and the rod. Right? The whip and the rod is in the position of the bouquet. It is an offer. Okay, so I was right. There is a double offer here. The whip and the rod is in the position of the bouquet. Now the bouquet is a gift, is an offer, as I said, and the bouquet comes out in the second month next to next to the decision, the crossroads. Now here, however, in this offer, in these offer, we said there were two, at least more than one. There's something to ponder very, very carefully, however, before you make your decision. And this also, along with the snake, is a candidate for our Casanova deck, because it's inhabiting the house of the mice, and the mice are insidious difficulties that come in and rain on your parade. So if we trace back to the mice, we have it again in that second month. And the mice is in the house of the mountain. And the mountain too talk of an upward battle. And it smacks of several mice, they're plural, and the mountain difficulties, several difficulties. There's the mice and there is the mountain. The mountain is inhabiting the house of the tower, which is different from the tarot tower. The tower in this deck, here it is a card that talks of legal issues, institutions. Now, either your position involves an institution, which could be a hospital, government body, educational, academic world, or something to do with legal matters, having to do with lawyers, notary publics, things like this, that there will be issues that you need to resolve before you can make your choice. Or that the other person who's offering, or persons, because it's more than one offer, need to make before things become clarified. Now, interestingly enough, this issue, the institutional difficulties, the legal matters, holds the position of the key. And the key is the key issue of this reading. That is the impediment before you make your decision. And we saw that our key came out in the first month. And it was linked to the birds, a nervousness behind the issue of offering the position. So, as I gather from here, there are two people involved. All right, we've touched on all of the cards in the first month. There are two people involved in making you at least one, and there's more than one, at least two people making you an offer, and it is a job position, and it is a position concerning a place that you will be returning to that you have been to before. Now, in the second month, we have the very, very important card, which is the Fate card, which is our cross, karma card. And it is in the position, as I mentioned, perhaps I mentioned, I don't think I did, no. It's in the position of the fox. Now, the fox is a sly card, but it's also a card denoting work. And I'm going to read it as both, because you will remember, and I'll repeat it for you now, that what led to me mentioning the cross before was our rider, the news, destiny, leading to our cross. Now, the cross being in the position of the fox is both deviousness, workings behind your back, behind the scenes, and having to do, I'm reading it as both, as working, denoting something to do with the position you're offered, activity that you will be discussing. And we can get more insight here because the fox is in the position of the book. The book means secrets. Definitely there's something hidden here. Definitely there are things that you cannot weigh. And definitely you need to make the decision only after things emerge. The book is in the third. These two are both in the third month. And the book, which is which does denote the secrets and something hidden from you, is in the house of the sun. Regardless of what is hidden, the sun, which in this deck shines extremely brightly, is only a positive influence. And it tells you that regardless of the things that you may never come to learn, the positions you will be offered are both to your advantage. It's just a matter of choice, and you are the one to make, you'll be the one to make the choice, and you have, in Italian we say l'imbarazzo della scelta, you have the embarrassment of choice. They're both interesting positions. Now, the sun goes back to the first month, and it's next to the key. The talks of a whip. We mentioned that. The whip these are two offers, and they both are good offers. So this is a confirmation of what I just said. Now, then in the second month, we've already seen the death card, the coffin. We've talked about the difficulties here. We talked about the position offered and the decision to make and the offer. We did talk about the stars and the letter and the rapidness with which these offers will be made. What remains to be talked about is both the garden, which is a public place, things that would be done in the open, and the moon card, which speaks of emotions. Let's go and talk about the garden. The garden here is inhabiting the child position, which means starting new in a public fashion. If I go down to the child is in the position of the anchor, which I told you mentions work. This means that the position that you decide to take up will be the beginning of a public life. You'll be working in the public much more so than you are currently doing. And the interactions that you have will also be public. Now, let's see that we go to the moon. The moon is in the position, interestingly, of the garden. So the garden talks in the second position of emotions becoming public. There will be one of these two people involved in offering you a position. You are probably linked emotionally to one of them, if not both. And your decision will be involving a very strong emotional component. Now, as far as the second month is concerned, I feel we've covered that. Now let's go to the third month, and who do we see? We see our woman. And the woman is in the position of the ring. We mentioned that before. The ring also is in the third month. The ring talks of the contract that we mentioned, but also, having seen the moon, it has to do with an emotional bond or an emotional relationship that will be emerging. And we go to the ring and find nothing less than our man position. It's in the position of the man. So it's coming full circle. We have the man, the first person we spoke of, will be offering something, making an offer to this woman, and it will be a combined package having to do with emotions. In this month, we talked about the fox having to do with work. We talked about the home having to travel and change residence. Let's go to the other protagonist here, which can be our rider. bringing in news. We spoke of the fact that it was a mature decision because the position of the rider is held by the lilies. And the lilies, in the lilies position, we have the stork. And the stork means that there is a mature decision being made to change residence. Someone is coming back. One of these people involved in making an offer of a job or activity is someone you know, and they are coming back. You may know both of them, but one is coming back on an emotional level. All right, now, in this last month, we have the heart here, and the heart is in the position of the moon. All right, so our moon, we saw, was in the position of the garden public. So publicly there will be made a show of love and affection and emotions. Now, beyond that, we spoke of all of the cards here in this last, just let me give you another bird's eye view before I prop this camera on a tripod somewhere, and hopefully you'll be able to see me working with the Casanova. I will be right back. So I'm back, seated, and I have the Casanova deck with me. And what we said that we wanted to clarify is this snake, because we saw the snake is a lucky turn and it's a new beginning. But the clouds occupy the position of the snake, so we want to clarify the snake. Then there was something to do with the mice, all right? The mice, we can clarify the snake, and the secrets, all right? Let's see. And Christelle Martinette is making a mess of the cards. So we have here first, I'll show you the cards if I can. We have here the Seven of Wands. I have the Five of Wands. And we have the Five of Swords. Now, of course, being in bed with a man is much better than being on top of a bridge, battling it out with somebody, or aiming a gun at somebody. But as you can see with this, there are definitely problems here. There are definitely problems, and there is another woman involved. So we can ask about which person making you the offer, but I will go to the man directly. That is the personified person that we first saw was making an offer. Undoubtedly, there was behind the scenes a person, let's say a female or a male enemy that sort of came in the way of the offer that will be made to you. In any case, when that emerges, it will be a lucky offer, because then we saw all of the progressive phases. But here there's in the past, there has been quite an insidious battle between that person and the other partner. There is a woman involved that has caused problems for you in terms of you being offered what it will be coming up. I'm going to the secrets here. We saw that the secrets was in the house of the sun. And here there is the Queen of Pentacles. There is the Fool card. And we have the Stars. Now, this is such an interesting trio, because what we have is a woman talking about her groundedness and her livelihood, even her sense of spirituality. And we have that she's in the company of a new start and a very well lit route before her, and a very lucky route. All right, this is we have, you know, 2 stars here that have come out. This is the woman in this spread, or the person who is receiving these offers, is the person who will not be, from now in these 3 months, will only seem to benefit from this, regardless of what has been held or withheld from her or that person receiving. I'm going to the mice. Well, now the root of the problem. All right, the root of the problem. This is very cute. 10 of Swords. A man has been struck in his manhood, his pride and joy, and there's a doctor there watching him. So this is a man who has lost power, okay? Has had lost power. And this is judgment, the female being observed by a man with a mask. All right. So it's my belief that the person involved, the person on the receiving end, has been always in the workings of what was going behind the scenes, even when there was that other woman involved. And what do we have here? The 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords. This tells us that there has been quite a number of things going on that have occurred behind the scenes. The person involved, you are the object. The person on the receiving end is the object. And they were the object of nightmarish occurrences, of being observed, and by a person who had lost power, and then went to other means to show power. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that this has helped, this long spread on the equinox, to celebrate the rite of passage, because for me it's always a rite of passage when something like this occurs. I do hope it has helped, and thank you for joining me. I appreciate your likes, shares, and your subscriptions. It's always a pleasure to interact with you. Namaste, my friends, till we read again.